Some people sit there and go, Dr. Vuong, I got told that I was positive, but I don't have any symptoms. Well, you could have, you could be asymptomatic. The range of when you get infected with this SARS-CoV-2, the range is like very little symptoms to like terribly sick in the ICU and dying. I mean, that is huge. What I want to talk about is false positives, because some people sit there and go, but Dr. Vuong, my friend, my brother's roommate's cousin was scheduled to have a coronavirus test. He didn't go because he got a flat tire, got called into a job interview, whatever was happening. Didn't go get the test. 2 weeks later, he got a letter that said he's positive, but he never had the test. What is that? That's called a false positive. They give you a positive test, but you don't really have coronavirus. Okay? What causes that? The most likely cause of that. Now listen, I love my lab techs. I love my essential workers. I'm not bashing anybody. But please, it's mostly lab error. Okay? So the techs are overworked. They run out of reagents. They run out of time. But most likely they're doing something called pooling. This got them in trouble in the spring. They're pooling specimens. So what happens is, let's say you have 10 tests. You're running low on reagents. You batch 10 tests. If they all come out negative, you run the test one time. If they all come out negative, you're good. You've used one assay for 10 tests. Now, if that batch comes out positive, now you have to go back and individually retest every single one of those. So for 10 tests, now you've used 11 reagents. But most of the time, because the positivity rate is low, hopefully less than 5%, most of the time that batch of 10 will turn out to be negative. Does that make sense? Yes or yes? Yes. So what happens in a pooling error is when labs get overrun because you fucking have 15,000 cases a day, LA. California, 50,000 cases a day, California. Texas, 20,000 cases a day. These labs are overrun. Does that make sense? So if you've heard these stories about, I didn't take a test, but I got a letter that said I was positive, that was probably a product of pooling. And you're going to see more pooling with higher cases that come through. Does that make sense? Doesn't make the test wrong. Doesn't make it bad. It just means we have to test more frequently.